Hey guys, how's it going? Jason Seishon here. Welcome back to the channel. Um, if you guys watched my Ken and Ari video the other day, I talked a lot about how I feel like Ionia is in a good sort of position in the meta. Cards within Ionia like Deny, the Concussive Palms, things like that are all feeling pretty okay right now because as we get some more of the mid-rangey stuff, Ionia of course becomes a little bit stronger. And so today, I wanted to feature another one of these Ionia decks. This is Kindred Viego. Sort of a deck that's always lingering around. It's sort of always been like this tier 2, tier 3 deck. But I think fundamentally what this deck does is just super powerful that it's hard to overlook and hard to not share. But for those of you who are unfamiliar with the deck and the champions, because I know Viego himself isn't played very often, Viego reads each round first time an ally dies, summon an encroaching mist. So this is just a mist is just a card that scales for each time you see it. It's sort of like a mist wraith in the same sense that gains attack. But this just gains a +1/+1. But that's not like really it's not the biggest factor of Viego. It is a super powerful mechanic, but it's really when Viego levels up that it really becomes insane, right? It steals the strongest enemy this round. If it's a champion, just kill it instead. Just such a big tempo swing sort of card. It applies a lot of pressure to your opponent. Viego, of course, having Fearsome, as well as scaling each time with the Encroaching Mist. Encroaching Mist grants Viegos and all other Encroaching Mists everywhere +1/+1. So it's very easy to scale Viego into like tens, the double-digit health and attacks, and all of a sudden he just becomes this huge threat onto the board. We have a lot of things that really kind of go well with it. We have, of course, the Camavoran soldiers that do summon the mist, as well as the invasive Hydra Vine. So it's such powerful cards and what they do, allowing to scale Viego in the sense that like Viego, when you play against Viego, it feels very difficult because you don't want them to be able to sack off their units to level their Viego. But at the same time, if you take too much damage, Viego scales anyways, and then all of a sudden, atrocity to the face is a very big concern. So it's definitely like a really interesting deck. Kindred has provided with a sort of more mid-rangey control presence. You have decent amount ways to slay. You know, we have the Vile Feast, we have the uh Glimpse Beyonds, and we just have decently statted units that can trade down, and it sort of just provides this really interesting sort of play style where your opponent has a hard time really, wanting to attack into your units. They might accidentally give you a slay for Kindred, and all of a sudden their board is reduced, or they might help you level up Viego, and all of a sudden you're able to swing back after he levels up. But overall, I feel like the deck is very solid. It's definitely still like, decently good into aggro and things like that. You have the Vile Feast of Tasty Faithful, as well as Two Spirits Refuge, and denies for all the burn and decimates. It's good into like all these slower control decks because Viego just really goes a lot bigger than those. You'll struggle against cards like Aloof Traveler plus Minimorph, which definitely does ruin Viego's day. But I've seen more of these like slow control decks just favoring cards like Vengeance and things like that more. And then we just get to super punish them with Deny and Syncopation. So overall, this deck is very solid. So definitely been a deck that's lingered on the edge. But I think, as we get into this more mid-rangey meta, it's a deck that stands out for me. It's super fun to play. It's lacking a little bit of card draw, so if you like having a full hand every game, maybe it's not the deck for you. But I urge you guys to give it a try. I hope you guys have fun with it. So please enjoy the games, and I'll catch you guys next time with tomorrow's video. So peace out and take care, guys. All right, we're back. Welcome, guys, to the video. Had a little bit of drink, so hopefully I don't go off the rails. Might be able to tell. So we'll see how this video goes. We're playing some Viego Kindred. I was told it's actually pretty decent right now. I actually kind of like this whole hand. Sack target, slay trigger, and deny to keep my Kindred up. Sort of like a really interesting hand. that could really work against like this, you know, very tall mid-rangey deck. Kindred is very good against this sort of style. So we'll see how it goes. Wow, I am a little bit more tipsy, huh? You guys don't see this often. You guys don't get to see tipsy J Sensational very much. So consider this a rare treat. Uh, right. That's definitely unfortunate because I have a very hard time dealing with that. I just go like Kindred plus. Ooh, he doesn't attack. Very interesting. Kind of hard to just like jam a Kindred here because like if he has like a single combat, I feel particularly bad. But I can't really just like float my mana either. Tap in and deny, that sucks. But oh wow, pass. Very nice. But it just definitely makes his future turns a lot more awkward. I have this Vengeance, so you know if he is playing like card like Confront, I do have a way of stopping that, which is good. And then you know I get the Slay proc. He didn't have single combat last turn, so honestly this is like kind of okay. And I get a Glimpse block here, and then he's forced to respond in some way. And then I do have Glimpse as, you know, or like I have something as a backup, which is really nice. And if he wants to single combat this way, I always have the Vengeance as well, right? So I'll start with this, and then if he goes for like some Concerted or some sort of combat spell, oh really? Okay. Very happy with this. Again, I'm just gonna keep my options open and see what's up. I have the Deny, I have the Vengeance. I have a very good way of sort of protecting it. I don't hate a Vengeance here. Just a good way to get rid of it. I don't hate using Deny either. It seems like if he had single combat, I feel like he would have used it last turn. I do want this to go off, but I do have a second Kindred and I have 2 Denies, whereas only has 1 Vengeance. So being able to say this Vengeance for like a he did have a single, okay. Fair enough. I'm gonna save this Glimpse for this second Kindred. I could use it now just to get the card draw, but ultimately I think it has more value later on, right? So I can just go Kindred again, and then I still have a Vengeance. He's down, you know, a lot of cards, and you know this concussive palm is very good as well. And now I do also have the Deny on this turn, so if he wants to go for like another trick here, it's totally fine. Right now, you know, we're just chilling. We're chilling pretty hard. 3 out of 5 on Pantheon. It's not going to be flipped until turn 9. It is going to be on his attack turn, which definitely sucks. But, you know, it's not. It's kind of hard to complain. So I can Vengeance plus Deny. Slowly stressing out his resources. As long as the game can get stalled on as fast as or as much as possible. Ultimately I feel sort of fine. Ashton's definitely annoying. But you know, if he's out of like, you know, Concerted Strike plus X, whatever. Oh wow, that goes through. It's very good. Obviously he still can strike my Kindred with like a Concerted with like a single, and now I'm tapped out. I really don't have any opportunities to actually deal with it. So this turn is like very pivotal in understanding what sort of hand he has. And this is like the biggest giveaway, right? This is perfect. This is exactly what I want. Because now I know it's very difficult from him because he didn't have a single combat there and potentially doesn't have like a Concerted either. So I get, you know, do a very nice soft middle pass here by just attacking. I don't get the Slay proc for Kindred, unfortunately. But I don't know if there was the most I needed to do there anyways. I don't want to play out a unit. I can play like the Hydrovine. Kindred's done its job, it's removed like 2 threats already. So now it's just all about snowballing your advantage, right? Ooh, that sucks. That does suck. Pantheon's gonna flip. Pantheon's flipped. That also sucks. So now I don't have a Vengeance. So I'm sort of at the whim of Pantheon's Mercy. We'll see if he actually has it. You know, down to 3 cards. He could not have it. And, you know, we have a good time, easy time proccing Kindred here if we need to. It's kind of clear he doesn't have Pantheon, which, you know, only makes me very, very happy. we want to slay with Kindred this turn, I could just like glimpse again. And just like make it really annoying for him. Glimpse, just make sure I thin out his board, find myself a little bit more card draw, and just keep the cycle going. Ooh, that's really good. Very good cards. Kindred is just such a menace in this mid-rangey sort of style of decks, right? They want to go tall, they don't really go wide, and Kindred's just really there to sort of just put an end to that. Ooh, Viego. Really good. Because now, like, you know, it's just all about winning the game, right? If suddenly my Viego flips, then, like, all of his units just really have no chance of really doing much. And this does allow me to just make some fantastically aggressive plays like this, where he can't block here, because otherwise it's going to die and give this the mark. And he can't really block, because then otherwise, you know, it starts to level my Viego. So he's actually in a really tough position here, which makes me very comfortable in even like sacking the Kindred. I do have this deny. It's like, if he wants to give me this much procs, I do have, you know, the Camavorian soldiers, which if I also just level Viego, it's gonna win me the game, right? Down at 2 cards, like, he's running out of options here. Ooh, I don't have the board space. So that in itself may have been a little bit of an oversight. But overall, I'm still feeling quite confident in my overall position. 10, I'll basically level Viego. It's like, if he wants to attack, I get to sock off my Hydravine. You know, if he has a Cataclysm, I do have an opportunity to answer that. This turn, I just want to focus on leveling Viego. And ideally, I don't tap under like a double deny, right? So as long as he has 2 cards, I have 2 denies, I win the game, right? And you know, if I get a level Viego and kill this, then like, I just win the game, right? So he would need to have like exactly Pantheon here, and maybe he does, and he was just like slow sandbagging it. But now that he doesn't, and I know he doesn't, yeah, it's just over, right? So the game was very smooth in that aspect, where if he didn't draw Pantheon, I don't really know if he stood a chance there. And that's just sort of how this works, right? I apply a lot of pressure with the Kindred in the mid-range, and then Viego just threatens level up where, you know, suddenly all of a sudden his attacks are super awkward, because then he's just feeding my Viego. And I have the denies, I have the Ione cards to back it up. And so I can just take advantage of that situation. Perceived by you guys, so oh, the last person playing Burn on ladder, huh? Very interesting. Burn all of a sudden just like completely disappeared from the ladder. I'm attacking on odds, which makes me a little bit happier. Kindred's a little bit slow. I do want to find my 2-drops. That's sort of like the most important thing. Or like a Vile Feast, right? Fierce Refuge is good, but it's gonna be hard to play around like a Noxian Fervor, especially with that. This is very good, obviously, because it's a 2-for-1 block. And it just lets me stall out my turns a little bit more. Very good trade against the Stony Sackers. I do have the Spirit's Refuge, so I can take it a little bit slow, but not slow enough. So he has Gnar in hand. Just a quick tip for you guys, if you see that Gnar pop up, it just means they have Gnar in hand. Which is good to know. I just get a curved double camo soldier here, so I'm happy playing this one out now. We have a free swing here. We're racing guys, we're both at 16, huh? So he has Gnar here, or he has Gnar in hand. Chooses just play it flat outright. It's definitely interesting. I do have the option to like Spirit's Refuge and kill the Gnar. Which is honestly quite appealing. It's not the best use of my refuge because it only heals 3, whereas it can definitely heal a lot more later on. I do know he's going to level Gnar because he at least has the impact. So even if I were to full block down the board, I'm put in a position where it's not the best. Yeah, just play Camo Soldier. And then I always have this refuge later. Okay. I'm okay with this. Cause like if I can scale my Viego and then have refuge plus a deny. Oh, whoa. Okay, yeah, he needs to level his Gnar here, but he has to give me like a good trade as a result of it, right? Ultimately, like, you know, this refuge just to heal 3 kill Gnar, prevent its level up was totally fine. It's unfortunate he has a way of, you know, leveling Gnar this turn, which in an ideal world uh, wasn't necessarily the case, but I can play Viego this turn, and then I can play Refuge plus Deny on the following turn, and that just gives me a whole, it just makes me feel a lot more secure, and as I work towards the Viego level up, that's just something extra to look forward to. Because then, if Viego levels up in this sort of matchup, it's just the type of momentum I need to just steamroll this forward, right? And he's going to help me level Viego very quickly as well. With this refuge, I definitely feel very safe, and as long as I can deny a fervor, you know, it's just icing on the cake, right? Now if he has 2 fervors, it's gonna suck, for sure, because I need this to not get denied, right? It's tough. You can still double fervor. I'm more tempted to just play Camo Soldier, because even if he challenges with Gnar, it's only dealing 3 damage. With double deny against decimates, I think the important part is just making sure I don't take too much unnecessary damage. I can always attack with Viego and Refuge, but again, with double deny, being able to deny like the decimates is just really big. It's really huge. Oh, very peculiar. Okay. I'm almost interested in just like sack off this 3/3 just to speed up the Viego level up. I'm not sure it speeds up in a very necessary manner, whereas I can always have an attack in the following turn. So I'll just block with the Ephemeral and get my value out of it. It's only dealing 3 damage anyways. At 12, when I have double deny plus a refuge. Now, like, if I was any other deck that didn't run these cards, if I had no healing, if I had no denies, I definitely feel a lot worse about it. Oh, he has a Scorch? That's nasty. He had the denies, I suppose. It's so weird you just got a Scorch off Oncologist. Or like a Guillotine or something like that. Again, I have double deny, so I'm not super afraid. But it's so crazy. Oncologist is just such a insane card in this sort of scenario. It's like, that's game winning if I can't deny it, right? It's so insane how that, like, just actually works. It's so insane. I would love to play Kindred this turn. I can. I'm happy just playing it. I get a Slay, I just get a thin out of his board. Especially when his weakest unit is the Legion Saboteur, which, you know, actually deals damage to my face. I do need to order it, you know, somewhat correctly. It's definitely very difficult in figuring out what the best ordering for this type of scenario is. But like, if he ever doesn't block Viego, I just get like Refuge and heal 9, right? Unless he, you know, you pull out a second Scorcher off this Oncologist. Which, you know, at this point, it's not terribly unlikely. Maybe it's also Flock, depending on how he blocks. But, we'll see. Okay. Fair enough. Refuge is fine here. I love to save Deny for like a Decimate. And this saves me from like a Pokey Stick as well. Definitely feels very good to be in this sort of spot. He's unfortunately not giving me like oh, sharpens off. Okay, fair enough. It sucks. Definitely unfortunate. But with the refuge and a deny, you know, I'm still feeling very confident. Like this Kindred will just carry the game away. Unless he fervors this way. Okay, fair Fair enough. Again, with the refuge, with the deny, if he doesn't have a fervor, I'm still feeling quite confident. I'm just no longer healing as much as I wish I was. But that's just kind of how it works. Very happy to refuge into that. So I just play Fading Icon and then I have refuge plus deny. And all of a sudden he doesn't really have an attack with a Gnar because I can simply just refuge. Which then if he tries to fervor, I do also have deny. So all of a sudden, you know, I'm feeling quite okay. What's really awkward is if he has like double Pokey Stick, but based off his hand, I know he had a Pokey Stick in hand. So I'm just gonna go for a little bit of a risky play here. I presume he more likely has like, you know, a fervor. He has like a double Pokey Stick. I get super punished by this line. But nice. Okay. And this is game winning. Because now he can no longer kill my Kindred. My Kindred's gonna level up. I'm actually at 15 health. You know, he has no more board all of a sudden, and I'm just gonna run with the game, right? Kindred level up. I start applying a lot of pressure, and he only has one unit on board that can block. I can play Hydrovine whenever I want to. I can even play it right now if I wanted to. You know, I don't hate it. I'm sort of all in on the table right now, and it's not like he's in the position to actually burn me out. I'm very happy developing because it's very threatening to him. Nice Pokey Stick. He's forced to block Hydrovine. Maybe he has like a, you know, oh, but he's dead, huh? That's so crazy. Like we didn't draw like I could say I have like a fervor. He's gonna fervor like this way. Cool. Like we didn't draw Vile Feast. It's always a card that like in these sort of matchups I really just pray to draw, right? I cross my fingers. You know, I hope I draw Vile Feast. But even when I didn't, and even though this deck is lacking some more traditional control tools, in the end I still got there, right? Again? Is it the same guy? I really think this is the same guy. I have attack token again. Well, that's the card. Like, this is such a nasty combo. I'm quite happy keeping it. Like, I can develop this on my attack turn and then this on my defensive turn, and it also works out. Being to look at it is really good. For the same reason that, like, you know, having a general 2-drop is very nice. Just lets me block, and then all of a sudden I can maybe reduce my curve down a little bit more. So many Sackers definitely sucks because I just don't have a good block against it. Sort of forced to make this block, which is fine. As long as I like KC plus like the twin, I feel very confident in my position. Viego also very nice draw. I don't want to take this attack because I do want to twin. Speed Elf's under Fervor. Okay, it's kind of annoying. Like I could just twin and just get a double heal. But at this point, it's not necessary, right? Okay. Going wide. Now I'm happy taking this. I just get a 2-for-1, right? Only keep my health high, and then I just like steamroll into the Viego. I again find it very hard to lose from that position. And he does have Gnar, which again stinks, unfortunately. I think Gnar's gonna level here. The best I can do is just play this and make his attacks completely awkward. It's like, oh, he's not going into Stony Stackers. Very interesting. This gives me a lot of time, and he has a Pokestick in hand, right? Wait, what? What happened? How did that? Oh, because the landmark. I see. I see. I see. Interesting question. What is better here? If I want to play Viego, if I want to play Kindred. I don't know if we get to the point where I actually need to level up Viego. Whereas Kindred just definitely puts in a good amount of work in controlling the board. Same thing for Viego, you know, if a unit dies and whatnot. So I could play this attack and just get like a turn 6 Hydrovine as well. It's definitely a lot of interesting options, but I do feel like I want to vengeance the Gnar, and if that's the case, I feel like playing the or Kindred is quite good. I don't know if I can just like bluff an attack into the Mega Gnar, because if he calls out my bluff, I'd probably lose on the spot and cry a few tears, but we'll see, we'll see. Okay. This isn't actually active this turn, I believe. I wonder if he's brave enough to block with the Gnar into my Kindred. I'm not gonna take the chance just because some people actually call you out on that, and that's particularly scary. But oh. It's like he most likely wants. Ooh, the palm is really interesting. Now, obviously, I want to deny him the heal here, and he's not proccing his teeny dactyl. I do know. Now, I do know he has a pokey stick in hand, but not much that puts him in the way of stopping this. And I do get my Slay for Kindred this turn. Now, it would suck if he like fervors the Gnar into the Kindred, and now all of a sudden I wish I, kept the Twin around just to protect the Kindred. But at least like the 4-2-6 around, and at least heals me 4 at occasion. Yeah, it's like for sure. Makes me sort of wish I played Viego at some point earlier. But again, I'm at 17 health. This Hydrovine's gonna start generating me tons of value. And I feel very stable, which is very good. If he wants to burn me out with a pterodactyl, it's gonna be a long journey for this guy. That's for sure. There's the pokey stick. And now we just gotta drop Viego, slight chip away at his board. We're equally as wide as him. He doesn't feel comfortable attacking with a teeny dactyl. And, I still have this AC Faithfolk that's gonna heal me 4 health, right? So ultimately I feel quite comfortable here. Now that I drop the Viego, he just has no attack. That's so wild, honestly. I think that's the craziest thing out of all of this. That he just can't attack. That sucks that I burned a unit there. Whereas, I'm free to just like do this sort of crazy stuff. And the ball's like really in his court, right? Because once I level up Viego, the game definitely shifts in a way. So I'm killing this, then I'm killing this. I'm doing all this other stuff. And my healing is fine. I could Vengeance this. Vengeance doesn't get any more useful than just preventing damage. Because at this point, like, I'm equally as wide. He's very rarely going to be able to get damage to by just attacking. And so that Vengeance, I don't really have a particular need in needing to, you know, actually sort of stop this stuff, which is very relieving, for sure. Now, if I can find like a refuge or another deny, make sure that, a decimate just doesn't end me, it'll be very nice. Oh, he's just gonna die to atrocity. That as well. Like, I was able to apply a lot of pressure because he didn't want me to level Viego, but all of a sudden he just put himself into the atrocity range, and that's just gonna spell disaster for him. And now the pressure's on, right? I could have just ended the game with the atrocity last turn. Where's the fun in that, He's dead this turn regardless. Or he's going to be put in a position where he's never going to win the game again. Just because I have the Tasty Faithful, right? I'm sort of just showing off at this point. It's very unnecessary to drag the game out for this much longer. But, you play around everything. For the off chance he has a random mini morph in his deck, just gotta play around these things.
I will not be made to wait.
Sorry if I'm yawning a lot. I'm tired. I'm a tired drunk. Alright, we'll just call it a game, I suppose. Um, we'll call it a game. We'll call it a game. If he's running Minimorph, you know, you deserve to win this one. There you go. Yeah. I think something that catches people off guard is definitely how fast Viego grows. It's very easy to stack Viego up, and you like incentivize your opponent from actually blocking down your board once you have Viego on board, so you're able to push a lot of damage. You know, some decks don't have fearsome blockers. You're able to push even more damage that way, and then suddenly all of a sudden you just have a Viego and Atrocity. I just want high value things in this sort of matchup. I want to find my Hydravine, I want to find my Viego, I want to find my Kindred. Ideally, I also find like a Green Glade Lookout. Hey, did that just happen? Haha. You guys heard that. You guys saw that. That's so wild. It's so crazy. So crazy how that works. I have twins to keep it alive, so potentially I'm able to drop like a Hydravine by turn 5. That would honestly be the dream.
Soldiers to me.
I was potentially supposed to Vow Feast that last turn, but just doesn't feel like too much of a rush overall. I would love to get 2 hits in with
Protect my
the
home.
Lookout, but expending a twin is also very expensive, relatively speaking. If he has like a sharp sight, it's gonna stink a lot because I don't want to use a second twin. That's rough. Sucks for sure, but I do feel like I do want to save this Hydravine or to save the second twin. Viego, huh? Aphelios? Okay.
Embrace the night, Aphelios.
Uh, I'm pretty confident getting the Viego down. I do have this twin. And it does have Shield of Durant, which then I don't trade for the Petricide. That definitely suck,
The whole
but
world
if he has exactly nothing, then I feel very good about myself. Yeah. I could also just Syncopate here, and I get a free kill on the Aphelios, which I honestly don't hate either. It does mean that this is going to challenge this later. That sucks for sure. Can't kill it this turn, you know, and that like really stinks. I think I'll twin now. I could kill the Aphelios as well. I can twin now and use Synca later, which is sort of an equally valid line. I can't really scale my Viego out of the range of the other side,
calling for me.
which sucks for sure. So I think I do just want to use you here. And you know, I also got the chance to Battle Feast doesn't work anymore. But I do get the chance to start scaling my Viego, and you know, hopefully that's just enough at the end of the day. Oh, Spirit's Refuge is insane. Part of me just wants to slap the Hydravine, but I know that if my Viego dies here, I get really punished. They're both sort of similar things, but ultimately I'd like to just generally keep my mana up. Next turn I'll just get a Shadow off of this way as well. So this pulls a Broadwing.
Crescendo.
Ultimately, I feel very comfortable with both Refuge plus Spirits Deny. What did I say? Spirits and I? Excuse me? Spirits Refuge. Also may feel very comfortable in this position still. Like, I have the board. I have this. You know, he has to play a card like Single Combat in order to actually remove the Refuge. And that gives me an extra sense of security here, right? And then worst case scenario, I can just syncopate and figure out a good block. Whereas this is like, not as likely to actually work out. I think I do want to start with the Synco though. It's tough. It's like if he wants to like, concerted strike me. Actually, you know, it's like his only way of actually dealing with my Viego here is with the concerted strike. And then I could pull off a syncopate, which I don't hate. The heal's not as necessary in this sort of matchup as compared to like a aggro matchup. Oh, but it trades. Wow, that's huge. I think that's the biggest thing that I was sort of hoping out of that scenario. Now I'm in a range where like single combat doesn't do anything. And its only real answer is like a concerted strike. Oh, syncopate. So good. So good. I level Viego here. I get 8 and then +3, so not quite. So I'll just keep the 3/3s around, I suppose. And now he just can't kill Viego this turn. I gotta drop Hydrovine and things just start pumping, right? Oh, did I miscount? Ooh, I forgot about that. 10. So I was still a little bit off, but the opportunity was there, almost there. And it would have been bad if I didn't see the opportunity. But as long as like he can't kill Viego, I just win the game. I'm sort of all in here. I just don't really have the cards in hand. Oof, if he has a Comet, it's gonna suck, for sure. I do get to level my Viego before, that becomes an issue. So if he does have a Comet, then like, at least I have a leveled Viego in the future. Not to mention it's just a huge stat stick, right? The question is, do I want to attack with Viego? If he didn't hit Comet, I just want to ensure that I have a way of leveling Viego here. So for every future Viego I draw, I'm just in a good spot, right? And I have this glimpse, so if he does want to comment me this turn, I can, he's fully tapped out, and have the opportunity to at least get a nice card draw in, right? Oh, that's so interesting, because that's just not enough. Alright, goodbye, Vanguard Sergeant. Oh, I forgot it doesn't kill it, huh? For some reason, I thought I'd just kill allies again. But it's a little bit of a hard habit to break, I suppose. Yep. Seeing took Severum. Does he have like a sharp side as well? Ah. It's only unfortunate. Sword position I really can't do much about. This is 8 damage. I do get a glimpse. As long as I find like a future Kindred or Viego, it's totally fine. Because the next Viego is going to be huge, right? Another Hydra. So. I'm just applying so much pressure with the encroaching mist, right? Oh, I see it dies. I'll do this. I want to force out something at the very least. There's a sharp sight. It'll still trade and I get to play second Hydrovine. Oh, it survives. That's so big. Wow. Because now the Hydrovine is just applying an insane amount of pressure, right? It's so insane how much pressure this sort of puts out. I do want to make a little bit of board space just so I can, play out the second Hydrovine. Because that's really when the ball gets rolling. Like this 9/9, I can realistically get this to 20/20 and like atrocity him in the face, right? It's actually like, not an unrealistic possibility. But the amount of pressure I apply with a double Hydrovine is just so nuts. Ooh, I do not want to. Last thing I do want to do is play into like a supernova. Should be very hard for him to really commit to that line if Not that he doesn't have another Celestial in hand, right? But it should be very hard for him to commit to that line, especially when I'm an Ionia deck and I have Deny. But if I were him at this point, I'd have to say like, you know, I'm all in, right? Well, that sucks. Like, as long as I find like a second Viego, I'm very confident in my position in this game.
What do these yordle eyes see?
Sucks I don't have a Deny yet, but again, I'm just slowly scaling. Once I find Viego, I just win. Another Glimpse. Glimpse is so good in this deck. Aphelios doesn't scare me at all. He clearly doesn't have Lux either. So we're gonna take this nice and chill. He has no attack, because then otherwise he just gives me the Kindred procs. So we're at a very standoffish position until I finds my... Oh my god, that's so insane. Wow. That's actually nuts. Such a perfect answer too. But again, once I find my Viego, I'm lucky. So I'm actually losing now, right? I need to find a Viego at the very minimum. Not quite it, unfortunately. I felt like I was in such a good position, and all of a sudden, now I'm having sort of doubts about it. If I find a Viego, it's just about finding Viego, right? I have 2 Viegos in the bottom 20. Once I find the Viego, I know I can just win the game.
Very clear your ways, Phil.
Ooh. Because Aphelios levels. It sucks. Me also to play a little bit better around all the different sorts of like stuff.
Our path
Really,
is fixed. Now we must
I was very feeling very confident in this matchup, but maybe I just dropped the Viegos slightly too early. It's tough to say. We'll see. No more holding back. It's tough to say. It's like he's gonna slam this for Demacia. All of a sudden, I'm gonna feel very very scared. And it's sort of what kind of comes down to this deck, right? I'm not drawing my Viegos. It's definitely tough to just really work things out from here. Like I'm just one Viego away of being in a relatively good position.
move short of
That's
the road,
tough.
brother.
Like if I top deck Viego here, honestly I think I just win. But it's just a matter of fact, right? Very limited card draw, so you know I played like at least 2 of my glimpses, so it's very hard to just like, you know, get there. I'm not losing, I'm not dying per se, but I'm gonna be taking a lot of damage this turn, to say the least. About 12. But it's just unfortunate that I'm sort of in this position.
Aphelios.
I move as water.
Oof. No, this game is over. Unfortunate. We didn't draw the second Viego. Maybe played a little bit too, like we didn't have the protecting tools to protect ourselves. Maybe we played a little bit too much into like the removal. But overall, the deck feels like okay, right? I'm definitely a huge fan of Ionia in the current meta, not just because I like it as a region, but Ionia overall against a lot of these sort of mid-rangey matchups. You know, that Lux Aphelios included. Whereas, you know, I definitely felt like there were positions where I could have got ahead and, you know, stabilized my position and then slowly snowballed. But sometimes not the case. You don't draw like the denies. If I deny like a sunburst, you know, I'm very, very confident in the outcome of the game. It's a very fun deck. There's not many decks uniquely like what Viego does. And ultimately, you know, with the Spirits Refuge, things like that, you're very fine into aggro as well. So definitely a very interesting deck. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm tired, I'm tipsy, so forgive me if you didn't like this sort of mood. But it feels weird. I'm just like very calm right now. So apart from that, I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Your support means a lot on my YouTube videos. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. It's really all I can wish for. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. So peace out and take care.